that could signal a blown head gasket. If all that sounds like Greek to you, seek the advice of the ultimate translator, your technician. I'm Bobby Likis. Like us, you'll love us. Hi, I'm Bobby Likis with today's Car Clinic Minute. Remember your very first vehicle? It was red and had 4 wheels, and you were happy. But you've changed since that little red wagon. When I come back, I'll reveal the latest automotive wish list.
O'Reilly. Improve visibility and save $8 on a pair of Brain X Latitude wiper blades. Plus, earn double points during Old Rewards Member Appreciation Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Ensure clear vision in any weather and save $8 on a pair of Brain X Latitude wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Remember, as teenagers, you were happy your cars had radios. But now, according to Exxon's driver-friendly poll, your tastes have all grown up. Topping your wish list is a built-in driver's seat back massage for de-stressing commutes. And some of you want to skip the drive-thru and ordered an in-car microwave. And finally, why wait till you get home to surf the net when a dashboard internet connection would be so handy? Wow, all that's missing in your automotive home away from home is the kitchen sink. I'm Bobby Likis. Like us, you'll love us. Hi, I'm Bobby Likis with today's Car Clinic Minute. Pepsi's have it, so do Oceans and Egg Whites. And soon, thanks to Foam Sweet Foam, your car will feel more like home sweet home. When I come back, I'll tell you what all the fluff's about.
O'Reilly.
Improve visibility and save $8 on a pair of Brain X Latitude wiper blades. Plus, earn double points during Old Rewards Member Appreciation Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Ensure clear vision in any weather and save $8 on a pair of Brain X Latitude wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Like porridge expert Goldilocks complained, is the inside of your car too hot in summer and too cold in winter? Fret no more. Frisbee Technologies has developed smart insulation for vehicle seats and headliners, into which thermostats similar to those in homes will be embedded. This system will maintain a relatively comfortable 83-degree cabin, regardless of outside temperatures. Soon, thanks to climate control foam, temperatures in passengers' cabins will be just like the baby bear suggested. Just right. I'm Bobby Likis. Like us, you'll love us. Hi, I'm Bobby Likis with today's Car Clinic Minute. This week ends with a bang. It's the anniversary of the first atomic bomb and my birthday. Which one of these fireworks will describe your vacation? When I come back, I'll have some hot trip tips.
O'Reilly.
Improve visibility and save $8 on a pair of Brain X Latitude wiper blades. Plus, earn double points during Old Rewards Member Appreciation Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Ensure clear vision in any weather and save $8 on a pair of Brain X Latitude wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Your vacation could be a blast or a bomb, and these little just-in-case details could make a big difference. Put air in your spare. Check your windshield wiper blades for wear. Replace your flashlight's batteries, whether it needs it now or not. And tuck a pair or two of spare sunglasses in the glove compartment. And get $10 worth of quarters, dimes, and nickels for toll booths. Now, go celebrate a birthday, vacation, or just a terrific summer weekend. Happy birthday to me. I'm Bobby Likis. Like us, you'll love us.
Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Countdown to 3-minute mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Countdown to 1 minute mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Countdown to 30-second mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Countdown to 10-second mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. If you have a car question for Bobby, call now at 1-800-264-5454, toll free from anywhere in America. And now, here's your host, Bobby Likis.
And thank you, Marty White. Folks, good morning and welcome to number one of the Final Four. The Final Four broadcast of Bobby Likis Car Clinic. That's right, I'm retiring October 10th, 2020. This year will be the final program. Meanwhile, today is the first of the Final Four. So let's get started. It's been a great run. I'm just sitting here smiling and crying at the same time. Talk about somebody talk out of both sides of his mouth. I'm just doing it right now. Am I happy? Yeah. Am I sad? Yeah. And all the above and in between. But in the meantime, let's have some fun today. Some car fun. I mean, you think about car repair, and you think about root canal. I mean, that's what, and, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it until you lose it. Just like along the Gulf Coast of Florida, we had the hurricane that came through, Sally. Sally was bad. She was a bad, bad girl. In fact, yours truly's been without power since Tuesday. What's it like to take a cold shower? Ask me. Millie's taking your call at 888 Car Clinic. So let's get started. Bobby Likis Car Clinic is brought to you in part by O'Reilly Auto Parts, designed to meet today's electrical demands on today's vehicles. Super Start batteries are available exclusively, folks, at O'Reilly Auto Parts. You get dependable power and performance for your car, truck, motorcycle, lawnmower, boat, and more. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts today, and their professional parts people will help you get the right battery. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts or visit O'ReillyAuto.com. I'll be back. A 2013 Honda Accord came in the shop running rough, stalling, and a check engine light. The vehicle had originally been repaired by another shop. After a thorough diagnosis, we found the vehicle was generating a bad signal from the crankshaft position sensor. This seemed odd as it had just recently been replaced, but the scope doesn't lie. A bad waveform signal needs to be fixed. Our solution? A new crankshaft position sensor from Motorrad. A longtime leader for vehicle thermostats and caps, Motorrad now offers engine management products that are engineered to meet and or exceed OEM specifications. They're designed to perform under severe operating conditions and are resistant to extreme heat. We made the change, and that fixed the car. Motorrad engine management products are manufactured in Tier 1 OEM facilities with top quality qualifications. They undergo comprehensive 100% in-line and end-of-line testing to ensure uncompromising quality. Learn more about Motorrad engine management products and other Motorrad solutions at motorrad.com. New vehicles are nice but costly. In today's climate, many of us are holding on to cars and trucks longer than normal. If you have an older vehicle and are trying to keep it going for a long time, consider using Berryman B60 High Mileage Oil System Rejuvenator. B60 cleans and protects the crankcase and engine oil system on all gas-powered engines, including those exceeding 60,000 miles. Maybe you have a small oil leak from a gasket or a seal. B60 conditions and revitalizes seals and gaskets to help stop engine oil leaks. Berryman B60 contains zinc-based ZDDP and moly to fight friction, heat, and wear. Anytime you can reduce wear, you extend engine life. It also helps prevent sludge formation to maximize engine performance and life. It's safe for all gasoline-powered vehicles and also safe for use with catalytic converters and oxygen sensors. Try a bottle of Berryman B60 with your next oil change and help to stretch your vehicle's miles. Drive to BerrymanProducts.com for more information about Berryman B60 High Mileage Oil System Rejuvenator and other great Berryman products. That's BerrymanProducts.com.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Ricey Outfitters, I'm Tina. How can I help you?
I'd like to place an order.
Great. Which item?
The cotton roll neck sweater, large.
Okay. Periwinkle, Loden, or caramel?
The caramel, please.
The what?
I'd like it in caramel.
Oh, the caramel?
Yeah, that's what I said, Tina.
Actually, you said caramel when it's pronounced caramel.
Can't we just call it yellow?
No.
Everyone knows the best part of a Milky Way. They just don't know how to say it. After all, it's our caramel.
It's caramel.
Ugh, that makes a Milky Way great.
You start my morning, you stir in my soul, you warm my heart, make me feel whole. Your aroma calls me, starts my morning, happy morning. Your name is Folgers Mountain Grown, now you're here. Your aroma helps me wake and the day is mine to take. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
Okay, let's get started with today's broadcast. I'll take your calls, 888 Car Clinic, 888-227-2546. Let's go to New York first and talk with Miss Carol, who happened to be in the house before. I think she got on the phone before I arrived at the studio. We just lost her. Well, so let's go to Tim. Let's go to Jeff then in New York. Or Tim Scott. Okay, Tim from Alamogordo, New Mexico. I believe that's correct. Good morning, sir.
Hey, we missed you.
Well, yeah, I took a couple of weeks there, and we ran best of shows, but this is the first of my final four. I'll be retiring 10/10/2020 is the last and final Bobby Likis broadcast radio. So, Tim, it's been a great run, 29 years. But anyway, let's get started. We've got 4 shows left. This is the first of the final 4 Bobby Likis Car Clinic. So let me give the prices of gasoline for all of those folks tuned in across the globe. U.S. $2.18.3. That is down from last week and down from this time last year. In fact, gas prices are down in every section of the United States over same time last week and same time last year. Most expensive gas price is on the West Coast, $2.85. My gosh, could you be enticed to move to California? Not on your life.
No.
No.
No
Well,
way.
What's it like for you, my friend?
It's wonderful here, except for the smoke. You can see it and you can smell it, but otherwise, life is good here.
Good. That's great. It's great. What are gas prices?
Same as 5 weeks now, $1.61.
Wow. That's pretty cool. I had to we had of course the hurricane. I've been without power and still without power. And I'll tell you how it feels to take a cold shower, which is what I did this morning. I have a unique way. I put soap in my hair, which forces me to put my head under the shower, and then by that time it's true story. And then by that time it's too late. But anyway, I had to drive to Robertsdale, Alabama. And looking for gas because it was just lines and lines and lines of gas. Everybody's running generators. So I get over to Wilcox exit, which is 17 miles west of Pensacola, and I get off, and there's no gas there, but there are about 20 cars waiting on a truck, hopefully. So I go to the next exit, and there is, and I didn't know this, but my team did, there's the gas station in the sky. There were, there had so many cars coming out of the station, Tim, that they had police officers and a line of traffic going back to the interstate from the gas station. It was the most organized, well-run, and the name of the station is Buc-ee's, B-U-C-EES, Buc-ee's. And I told my guys that, and they said, oh, yeah, I've been over there lots of times. It was the darndest thing I've ever seen. I was in and out of there in, I think, 15 minutes and got gas for my generator and filled up my car. And so all is well, and I'll be taking another trip over there today to get another 5, 6, 10 gallons. Anyway, they had ethanol-free only is my only choice, and it was only $2.12. So life is good, no worries.
So what's your next project now that the Porsche's gone and you're going to have time? You got anything in mind?
Well, we had planned a 5-week after we sold the shop last year. We had planned a 4-week tour to Europe, and COVID stopped that. And then we had the last week we had the birthday bash on Richard Branson's Scarlet Lady ship. And we had that scheduled for July because my birthday's the 16th and his is the 18th. Not that that means anything to him. But anyway, we scheduled that, and that's out. So the only thing we have planned is July 15th of 21. We'll be on Richard Branson's birthday bash in 2021. But other than that, I'm going to do a little 6-month deal. Having said all this, I have to admit that I'm currently building a new office/studio at home, and it's a real. So
for another radio show?
No, probably podcast or maybe it's just whatever I feel like doing when I want to do it. I guess.
Okay.
But anyway, 29 years is a long time on radio, but it was just seemed like yesterday, and there's a lot of changes that have been that's gone down. But anyway, we've got 4 more shows, including today's, to go. So I appreciate your call so much, and I feel like I know you as a friend and everyone that's called in. It's really, really been an exciting time for me.
Yeah, we will definitely miss you. So
all right, thank you.
I don't know how we'll take up our time on Saturday morning.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, maybe it'll, reshape my head. I don't know. Who knows? But thanks so much for your friendship and your always your call in. And I'll be here 3 more weeks, so we still got 3 more weeks to go, my friend. Thanks, Tim.
I'll be here to bother you. So, okay.
You bother me anytime. All right, let's now go back to Carol. We got disconnected. So, Miss Carol, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic, number 1 of the final 4.
Goodness, I can't believe it. I could not believe it. I don't even want to bring it up for fear of, revealing it, but they announced it on our local radio station, and I was, stopped dead in my tracks, dumbfounded, devastated, whatever you want to say. Well,
I called earlier this week. I had a list of had 3 pages of stations to call, and I thought it only right that I called each and every one. I got through a page and a half, and I think it's something like 60 stations or so that I personally had called. And of course, New York and Daytona was the first call because I've been on WNDB 1150 AM since 1991. And so it's been a great run. I remember how it started, and I'm remembering how it's ending, and it really is all good. But I'll tell you what, that Sally hurricane had put us under the bus here. So,
that is, I can't imagine being out of power since Tuesday. The first thing I think about is the refrigerator. Everything's spoiling in the refrigerator.
Yeah, well, we had 2 refrigerators, and so my Diane said, well, what a good time. I said, good time for what? She says to clean out. the refrigerator. So.
Well, I've been wanting to call for about a month now to bring up some reminiscing about the first time I ever called, and I didn't want to take time away from people who had car problems. But when I heard the news, I'm calling. I don't care. So the very first time I ever called, you had a contest, and it was 10 or 11 years ago. It was in July. I was sitting in my car in a parking lot, and I was listening to the radio. And when they said that, the good old cell phone, I called, and I had a very good answer, but that wasn't the answer you wanted. But you sent me something anyway because I had a very good answer, and I will tell you what the question is. It was, what was one of the best or greatest or most recent, better, what am I trying to say? Not invention, like an invention, okay, that was to happen in a vehicle most recently. What was one of the best inventions to have happened in a vehicle? So I immediately said alternator, because I go back to the days.
Generator. Oh, wow. Yeah.
The alternator, when you step on the gas and it's pouring rain and you're at a red light and you accelerate, the windshield wipers would stop. And I remember And when they started advertising alternators on television. I'm not sure what year it came in, the mid-50s? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. No, it had to be after 63s did not have, they had generator because I had a 63 Fairlane High Performance 289. So 63s had to be in the late 60s. To that end, you talk about inventions, and just to keep it brief, which I promised myself I'm going to do today, but there was a gentleman who invented the intermittent windshield wiper, and Ford Motor Company stole it from him, and they made a movie about it, and it was really quite interesting that here was a man struggling and having a family to, it's a typical story, and embellished obviously by the media and by the filmmakers, but nonetheless. So they said, well, your invention is no good, and besides, we already got something like that, which they did not. And so he took them to court, and he won. And I don't know what they gave him, but the intermittent wiper was so terrific because when it's just drizzling, you don't need. Well, I don't have to go into all that. But the bottom line, it's very interesting at what I've seen. I mean, let's just take a couple of seconds here and talk about number one. For me, from an engine and emissions standpoint, the best thing that ever came up in automobiles was in the late 70s or 60s is PCV, the positive crankcase ventilation, because all engines used to breathe vapor and smoke into the atmosphere, and that's oil smoke and toxic and all that waste. So now the engine breathes it, and that's why the valves get dirty. That's that black lung disease, but better the engine than us. And then the next thing was the ABS, the anti-lock brake system.
Yes.
And I won the East Coast region for Bosch Service Center, authorized Bosch Service Center, the first one in the state of Florida, the 8th in the nation. And I had a 10-day trip to Germany, and I went to the Schwieberdingen, and I didn't pronounce that right, but that's close enough, to the proving grounds for Bosch, and I went for a drive on a skid pad with a wet skid pad with and without ABS brakes, and I was shocked. Anyway, thank you so much, Carol.
Well, your answer was air conditioner, was that?
Oh, air conditioner. Yeah. Hey, love you. Thank you very much. Got to go.
Thank you. Love you too.
I'll be back, folks. Cooling system repairs, we've all needed them. But what happens when that local mechanic or your garage is miles away? Situations like this were made for K-Seal, a pour-in solution that helps stop cooling system leaks. Other sealers use sodium silicate, which can clog the system. K-Seal features ceramic technology designed to repair the leak without clogging. Tough times create the need to be prepared. Make K-Seal part of your emergency road kit. K-Seal is available nationwide at stores like Walmart. Check walmart.com for store hours and shipping options. As we kick off National Car Care Month in the midst of COVID-19, making sure your vehicle is road ready has never been more important. The Car Care Council remind you it's the perfect time for a thorough check of various vehicle maintenance items, like brakes, batteries, tires, cooling system, filters, headlights, and the exhaust system. Visit carcare.org to find out how you can best keep your vehicle safe and dependable. It's National Car Care Month. Are you car care aware? Learn more at carcare.org. That's carcare.org. Folks, remember this name, autobatteries.com. Autobatteries.com, courtesy of Clarios, is a fantastic site that tells you, number one, how batteries work, battery technology, how to choose your battery in case you need a battery. You just don't go out and buy any battery for your automobile, especially with the high demands that today's cars have with backup start-stop technology, backup cameras, multi-center stacks that have all sorts of electronics. Everything starts at the battery, no pun intended. Autobatteries.com also shows you how to install, how to recycle, how to test batteries, where to get a test for free, jump starting, just a host of information that you should know when you need, hopefully you won't, but when you need a battery for your automobile. Just remember, autobatteries.com. It's a fantastic site with information that every car owner needs to know. You need to go there, and you need to see for yourself and learn what it takes so that when you go into a service shop, should you need a battery, you'll know the right questions to ask. Again, courtesy of Clarios, go to autobatteries.com. That's autobatteries.com.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
The airlines like to have sales. Summer getaway sales, holiday sales, winter sales. Truth is, at any moment, some airline somewhere is on sale with low fares to great destinations. Travelocity knows exactly what's going on, who's on sale, to where, and when, at over 700 airlines worldwide. We even have this nifty feature that lets you look at a calendar so that you can see exactly the days the great fares are available. Travelocity.com. Go virtually anywhere. AOL keyword, travel.
Hun, guess my temperature.
It's 2 a.m. Go to sleep.
Come on, one guess.
Higher, 98.
Higher.
Higher, 99.
You're getting warmer. Wait, I'm getting warmer.
Cold symptoms keeping you from getting a good night's sleep? Get NyQuil, the nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever so you can sleep better to feel better medicine. Use as directed.
One more guess.
100?
Yes. Tell her what she's won, Bob.
And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
And welcome back to number one of the final four broadcast of Bobby Likis Car Clinic, 888-227-2546. Go to New York and put Jeff on the phone. Jeff, good morning. Welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Jeff, good morning.
Call me Jeff, Bobby.
Good morning. Jesse?
Hey, are they still calling me Jeff, Bobby?
Millie's named you Jeff, so she officially, hey, listen, let's throw her under the bus.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
You called her Missing Millie, and then I called her out on it, and so my name's Jeff now.
Well, you know what? I guess
when his girlfriend called him.
His girlfriend? Yeah, hey, what's your wife's name? What's your wife's name?
Her name is, would you believe her name is Joy, so it's Jessie and Joy.
That sounds like a story to me, but I gotta. Hello, Joy. Hello, Joy. Hello, Joy. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm sad, glad, happy, and what have you. But hey, I had a cold shower, so I'm refreshed this morning.
We know you up and ready to go.
Oh my God! Gosh. Oh my God! I don't know if you listened earlier, but I have learned how to take a cold shower. You put soap on your hair, and then you got to rinse it out. But by the time you rinse it out, you're wet, so it doesn't matter. So you just say, you grin and bear it and get up under that water. And I'll tell you what, but considering we've not had the air conditioner since Tuesday. Yeah, okay. Well, listen. So,
Bobby.
Yes, sir.
This is such a bitter-sweet and amazing moment. And I will be honest, you have done so much over all these years. And when you said that you are going to retire, I don't think that I could have celebrated more because you value how much we have in life, Bobby. And I don't know. It took me off guard, but at the same time, I think about all of your years of service in the automotive industry and everything that you gave us. I'm kind of an emotional person, being an Army man. What can I say? But, Bobby, you have done more than I could ever ask for, and I really appreciate it. Maybe that's why I sent you that Jaguar decanter.
Well, I certainly and really appreciate your kind words, and you and Jesse and Joy and all the folks there in Binghamton have really been so, and Owego, New York, and surrounding areas have been so kind to me, and as has everyone. In fact, I've just of more than 100,000 calls, I've never had a bad call, and we are live, and that's just something to say for that. And I would say that it's out of my respect for you. But it's a two-way street. Respect is a two-way street. And I'll tell you something, before you can like someone, you have to respect that person. And so that is so true of life. And so I really do most certainly appreciate you. And I wish for you and Jesse and Joy the happiest, healthiest remainder of your life. And we may meet on the other side. In the meantime, I thank you for your call and appreciate you folks.
Oh, you got it. And maybe I can meet up with you before we do pass on the other side,
Well,
so you can see my custom-made shirt.
That sounds great. That sounds great. Yeah. He took our logo, folks, and had it, embroidered on his own shirt. Of course. Hey, Jesse, one thing before I go. Car is spelled car is spelled car, not C-U-R.
So are you telling me that I misspelled that?
No. Okay. All right. Got to go, folks.
Calling you out.
All right. Thank you. Love you too.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Love you too, Bobby.
Bye. All right. Let's take a call. Let's go back to New Mexico. Take a call from Cliff. Cliff, good morning. Welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Folks, this gentleman is renowned and should be rewarded and applauded and all those things. He is the world's only, I'm sure not the world's only, but to my knowledge, blind mechanic. Cliff, welcome again to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Oh, it's so great. I heard you're leaving, and I got emotional, so I needed to call you. And you've been a family. You've been part of our family for years. You've been such close to me, and you've been such a wonderful man. And I hope so many people have gotten so much out of you over the years and so much information, Bobby. And you're such a history guy. You know a lot about history, and you know a lot about from the present, from the past, the present, the future. And, you've done so much for so many to figure things out and try to help people. You've gone out of your way, and you've gone out of your way to help me, too, and it's been great. And we're all going to miss you because we love you, and we care about you and your wife and your family. And I pray for you every day.
Well,
and you're on my prayer list, and I care about you.
I thank you. I love you, man. I appreciate that. And it's such a strange, eerie feeling. But by the same token, without a doubt, of all of the things that I've learned through the schools and educational processes, and then on the job training, and the fact that when I went into the automotive service business, my primary goal was I love cars, and then was to repair and take on jobs that other shops couldn't or wouldn't attempt to. And so that was really a very interesting concept, because it ensured that we always had a supply of cars coming in, because there are a lot of cars that have problems that are really hard to find out and how to fix. And so we learned and we schooled, and you never learned. The problem that we had was that the automobile is the most changed product of all products, I think, in the world. Of all the products that you could think of that have been patented, the automobile is the most complicated today. And so to stay abreast of all that information, I'll tell you something this program has done for me. It has kept me young, because I have friends that I've lost. In fact, the past year I lost 3 friends, but I have friends that I lost that are 25 years younger than I, that died of heart attacks and I don't know what all. But the bottom line is, I'm as healthy today as I was 50 years ago. At least it seems like. I do have some shoulder issues, but hey, I'll tell you, this show will keep you young, because I get asked questions, and if I don't know the answer, the next week I know the answer, and so it keeps me on my toes. But also the relationships that I've enjoyed with everyone over the past 29 years on Bobby Likis Car Clinic has been a joy and a treat. And we've still got 3 more weeks to go. 10-10-2020 is the final program, so this is the first of the final 4. And Cliff, I want to thank you for your friendship and applaud you
You're
for all that
welcome.
you've accomplished in your life as well.
Well, I wanted to tell you, I'm going to miss all of those people that are always sticking with you on the show, like Captain Jim. I'd love to get his number and talk to him. He's such an interesting man.
Yeah,
you
he
got
is.
so many interesting people on your show, Bobby. That's what's made your show is you get the most interesting ones, and that's what is so unique about it. They always are so reliable to call in and talk to you, and that's the kind of show that should be that way, that you have the same people that are trying to figure out things, and you're the man they call to figure it out, and they trust you. I trust you. So many others do too, and they care about you, and they also take your wisdom and wise, and they use it very, very well indeed. And then if they have a problem, they can always get back with you or email you, and you'll definitely try to find the problem, or figure it out.
Well,
and you're always the man to be there for everybody, and I think people should always remember that, and because to me you're like a legend in a lot of ways on the radio. You really are, and you're an icon as well, Bobby. We're never going to forget you.
Well, I thank you, Cliff. I appreciate you, love you, and I thank you so much. And we'll
Love
talk.
you too.
We'll talk soon. Take care.
Sure, that will be great.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Bobby.
You're welcome. Well, folks, if you'd like to get in, 888 Car Clinic is the number. 888-227-2546. Hey, I can still take car questions. So let's go to Andy, who has a 73 motorcycle. Now, look. I bought my father never would, Andy, and welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic first.
How are you, Bobby?
I'm great. So my father was scalped by riding a motorcycle. Literally, the top of his head was almost severed off. He had a line that went around the whole crown of his forever. So I was never allowed a motor, period. And then he died a young man. And when I was 45, I was at a birthday party, and a friend of mine started talking about motorcycles. Well, I never had one. So the two of us said, oh, let's go get a motor. So Monday we went and bought a motor. I bought a Honda 700 Shadow, beautiful, and I kept it a year. And the whole time I drove it, and I never laid it down. I was thinking of my father, who never would allow me to get one. And you know what? And I got a year under my belt, and I said, you got to know when to hold them and when to fold them. And I sold it, and it was really a beautiful bike. But let's talk about your 73 motor, and let's see if I can help you with it.
Okay, well, I went through the same thing, but I won't get into that. Well, I have this problem. I got an older, it's a 73 Shovelhead Harley, and they call it the starter run-on, and it's like a unknown thing around here. I ask all my biker buddies, and I'll go to start the bike, and it didn't turn over. It turned over, but it didn't catch. It didn't start. So but the starter motor kept on running. So I run like a nut. I undo the ground wire. I isolated the solenoid, and I hit it again, and the starter's still running. So I tapped on the starter solenoid itself, and that cured the problem. The starter wasn't running anymore.
Okay.
But I then checked the battery, and the battery wasn't up to snuff. It was an older battery. It wasn't holding a good charge.
Right.
So my stupid question to you is that the spring in the solenoid not strong enough to kick it back out, or could a weak battery do this?
No, a weak battery could not do that, but well, yes, it could indirectly. A weak battery, low voltage causes extra heat because it until what usually jumps to life doesn't, and so those contacts. And a starter solenoid is an external high current contacts. When you have low battery, those contacts will melt together. When they melt together, the starter still continues to get voltage, although you've let off the button. So,
right.
And I have had a similar. I don't have time now to tell you about it, but I have had a car to give me the same problem, and it took me 4 hours to diagnose it, and it took 3 days to do it because it was erratic. But the bottom line. Replace the starter solenoid if you could buy the solenoid assembly, and make sure that the starter is aligned properly in the flywheel. And you can do that by taking what we do is a magic marker, black magic marker, painting the gears on the starter, and spin it over, and then pull it out and look at the pattern. but replace the solenoid, and that should fix the problem. I'll be back after this hard break, folks. Don't go away. It's back to school time, and the Car Care Council has a 5-point checklist to make sure your vehicle is kid-safe and road-ready. First, check lights and wipers for visibility. Second, get an annual brake inspection. 3, check tires for underinflation or excessive wear. 4, review tips for seatbelt fit and position. And 5, if your car isn't already equipped, consider installing a backup camera to help reduce the risk of backover incidents. Find more great tips, videos, and recommended service schedules at carcare.org. You know we use PB Blaster for breaking free rusted parts, but now the Blaster Pro Straw makes it even better. But that's just one of the specially formulated products from the Blaster Corporation to fix, loosen, lubricate, penetrate, and conquer each job. There's Multimax synthetic lubricant, garage door lubricant, white lithium grease, and so much more. So don't bust knuckles, bust nuts with PB Blaster. Blaster products are available at a home, auto, or hardware stores near you. Always use Blaster products and work it like a pro.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Waking up can be a chore, but mornings knocking on my front door. Know just what I'll do. Put on a pot of Folgers brew. Mountain grown aroma hits the spot. Helps me give all that I've got. An opportunity to start out smiling and happy. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
I'm privileged to be involved with Capstone Adaptive Learning, formerly known as United Cerebral Palsy, for over 25 years. Since 1953, Capstone has provided quality care programs for persons with developmental disabilities like autism, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, and intellectual disabilities. Dr. Sherry White with her team are dedicated to Capstone's clients, and 100% of your contributions stay local to serve those in this community. Go to capstoneadaptivelearning.org to see the difference Capstone makes.
Technology moves at the speed of innovation, and today, that's lightning fast. So when you get your hands on the latest tech, don't forget to do the right thing with your old devices. Recycle them. The Consumer Technology Association and its members are making recycling your old tech device as easy as purchasing new ones. Just go to greenergadgets.org, type in your zip code, and you'll instantly find the responsible recycling location closest to your home. You'll also find lots of tips to simplify your recycling, like asking the store where you buy your new TV if they'll haul away your old one. Television sets, video game consoles, smartphones, tablets, they're all recyclable. Don't let them clog up your local landfill. Just visit greenergadgets.org. You're sharp enough to get the latest tech tools into your home. Now be responsible enough to get your old devices to the recycler. That's greenergadgets.org.
And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
And welcome back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic, folks. Terrific program today. Call with your questions at 888 Car Clinic. On the phone with us now is Bob Boma, Director of Engineering and Advanced Technologies for Goodyear Brakes. Bob, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Glad to have you in the house.
Thank you, Bobby. It's a pleasure to be here.
Bob, let's get started right to the point. Many of us around the country are spending more time at home, so it's a great time to finally tackle that restoration project. Share with our Car Clinic listeners and viewers what they should consider as they embark on this sort of project.
Well, one of the things that we do at Goodyear Brakes is we're concerned about our customer safety, and we're very concerned about making sure that our customers have the highest quality products for their vehicles. All of our brake pads are manufactured in North America, and we strive to protect from corrosion and give confident feeling and safe braking conditions for your automobile.
Well, speaking specifically about vehicle brakes, share with our Car Clinic listeners and viewers some of the signs that they can look for to know that it's time for replacement.
Obviously, most customers recognize that brake noise is a concern. When brakes wear out, they typically go down to a wear sensor and create noise. What most customers aren't aware of is that corrosion in your calipers, rotors, and brake pads is just as big a concern. in Pensacola with the recent flooding from the Sally that came through, salt water gets on your brakes, and salt water creates corrosion, and corrosion is definitely an enemy of brake systems.
Well, you can say that again. Let's shift gears and specifically talk about the Goodyear Brakes. I understand that Goodyear Brakes is now offering a new line of premium quality brake bundles. And I say bundles, meaning calipers, rotors, brake pads, and all the hardware. And folks, hardware is important. It's an inexpensive addition to a brake job, but it helps the guides and slides, and it's a stainless steel hardware for today's most popular vehicles. So again, Bob, share with our CarConnect listeners and viewers what differentiates these brake parts from others in the industry.
At Goodyear Brakes, we have all of our remanufactured calipers coated in our proprietary Anti-Ox Max coating. This corrosion-resistant protection helps keep your calipers working properly for an extended period of time. Our rotors are also Anti-Ox Max coated, and this is critical to keep corrosion down on rotors so that they also perform as designed for an extended period of time. Our brake pads are completely covered in powder coat paint in order to keep the backing plates from rusting and to keep the friction material from lifting off the backing plate. Along with that, we use a Vulcan-treated insulating shim to reduce noise. It's interesting that we use a Vulcan-treated insulator because vulcanization was patented by Charles Goodyear, another throwback to our Goodyear lineage.
Charles would be proud of today's engineers. So you can, and so share that. That's a very interesting point to me. When you vulcanize something, for those car owners who might not understand vulcanization, exactly what is that process?
Well, vulcanization is taking raw rubber and adding sulfur and heat in a chemical treatment process with time, pressure, and temperature, and it converts raw rubber into vulcanized rubber, which gives it the properties that we're all familiar with a normal rubber product.
And to that end, while I've got you on the air here with Bobby Likis Car Clinic, I'd like to share another question with you that I get often asked from our listeners and our viewers, and that's the squealing noise. Is it not true that the squealing doesn't come from the pad touching the rotor, but from the backside?
Normally, brake noise can be generated in multiple areas. Typically, brake noise is a condition where something is being excited to its natural frequency. Now, I know that's a lot of engineering gibberish, but what happens is just like a bell rings at a certain tone. When you're applying your brakes and you get brake noise, you've excited some component, whether it's the rotor, the caliper, or the brake pad, to create noise.
You know, I never thought about it that way, but it makes a lot of sense. So, folks, that's one indication that you should have your brakes checked. But, Bob, give us a couple of three ideas, advice for folks to consider as they get started on their next replacement of brake project.
Well, the first and most important when removing your brake system from your vehicle is inspect everything. Make sure that your brake pads are sliding in the anchor as designed. Corrosion has a very, very bad habit of making your brake pads stick in the brackets, and when they do, they're not allowed to freely move as the caliper's designed. Second, make sure that everything is clean when you reinstall all your components. Don't be afraid to take a hand wire brush and clean metal surfaces to make sure that the corrosion is gone. Third, when you're reinstalling things, take your time, make sure that they slide properly and look proper. At GoodyearBrakes.com, we have many videos that are provided by Bruno Massel, and you can use those videos as training tools and review to make sure that you're doing everything properly.
All great advice, absolutely. Bob Balma, Director of Engineering and Advanced Technologies for Goodyear Brakes. So, Bob, I think a final question would be, where can our Car Clinic listeners and viewers go for more information and to find the videos that you just told us about?
All of the information that we have is provided at GoodyearBrakes.com. We have many retail partners that are listed in our website, and very shortly we will be up and running on Amazon also. So GoodyearBrakes.com is the best place to go and get the information you're looking for.
Well, I have to tell you, it's a pleasure. You mentioned Pensacola and you mentioned Sally, the hurricane this past week that we had to deal with. And I will tell you, the brakes are exposed 24/7, except for the time that your car is in the garage. And the addition of the coating, and you mentioned powder coating, and folks, that's about as solid of an insulator as you can get and a protector from oxidation. So that is a whale of a great process that Goodyear Brakes has provided, and that's a step up, because that means that your rotors, folks, your calipers, and all the things down under don't rust and won't rust as long as you put them together right and use the Goodyear brake product. Bob, terrific information. I'll have to get you down to Pensacola and into our Car Clinic studio and take some questions from across the nation. In the meantime, thank you so much for all of your great advice, and thank your team members at Goodyear for providing such a great product as Goodyear Brakes. And again, that website, folks, is GoodyearBrakes.com. Bob Balma, Director, Engineering and Advanced Technologies, Goodyear Brakes. Bob, thank you so much for joining us on Bobby Likis Car Clinic today.
Thank you, Bobby. It's been a pleasure being with you.
He was a nice guy, really. I mispronounced his name there. It's Boma. It's his name, Bob Boma, and he didn't correct me, so that's pretty cool. I mean that executive that sometimes that they're title hungry, but not this fella. And I'll tell you, the Goodyear line of brakes is an outstanding line of brakes. They've been around for many years. Goodyear, and for them to offer a brake line just another step in the next direction of products that are available. And I'm glad to have the Goodyear folks on board for Bobby Likis Car Clinic. So as I mentioned earlier, and by the way, we've had some outages from our studio to Westwood One, our satellite provider. So I want to apologize to our stations and to you folks out there if we seem to have gone away or if things seem out of sync. Due to the Hurricane Sally on the Gulf Coast, literally we did not have any Cox internet, and we use a VoIP, a Brick 2, to produce this program. So without the internet, we would not have a program. And for 3 days this week, there was no internet in the studio and in this facility where we lease the space for the studio. So again, we are live. It's about 51 after the hour on Saturday, the 19th, and this is the first of the final 4 broadcasts of Bobby Likis Car Clinic. So for those of you who've tuned in over the years, let me hear from you. Millie will take your calls at 888 Car Clinic. That's 888-227-2546. And while we're at it, we have a message from a Watch Bobby Live listener, Gary Smith in Arkansas. Bobby, listening on KURM 790 AM, Rogers, Arkansas. Kermit Womack, the Colonel, is 86 years old today, 9/19/20. Folks, there are very few people that I hold in absolutely high, over-the-top esteem, especially someone I've never met. I've never met the Colonel, except I've spoken with him on the phone. We've been airing on KURM 790 AM for many years, probably 20 years. And Kermit announced, according to Gary Smith, our friend at Watch Bobby Live, says, Kermit announced and read your retirement letter on the air. Kermit spent a good deal of time being appreciative to you as a person and for your kind ways of treating the callers. We all miss you, will miss you, but at the same time, we all wish you the very best in retirement. And that's a message from our friend Gary Smith in Rogers, Arkansas. Well, actually, it is Rogers, Arkansas, which is right there next to Bentonville. And Steve Womack is a congressman, and he is a really super individual. There have been several times that Steve and I have talked offline about certain topics that I would go through and initiate right here on Bobby Likis Car Clinic, and one of them, as I remember, was about the gas tax and bridges and roads and what have you. And so I was connected with Steve's team, and we went through and dug more deeply into that and brought the information to you. So hats off to everyone there in Rogers, Arkansas, and nearby, tuned in on KURM 790 AM Rogers. It has been a great run. This is the first of the final 4 broadcasts of Bobby Likis Car Clinic. The last broadcast will be 10/10/2020. That's a pretty cool number. 10/10 equals 2020. So October the 10th, 2020. Today is the 19th of October, and today I want to wish the Colonel, Kermit Womack, a happy 86th birthday. And folks, this gentleman is an icon in the state of Arkansas, and his 4 kids, if you could call them kids, now they're grown and they've made their own way, are each and every one have really risen to the expectations that I'm sure that the Colonel set as he was rearing everyone in his home. He and his wife. I wish them many years of life and safety and health and all the things that we value, that are of real value in our life. I'll take your calls at 888 Millie will 888-227-2546 and she'll put you in the queue, and I'll put you on the air. Have any questions about your car, then I just consider me your personal car consultant. If this is the first time you've ever tuned in to Bobby Likis Car Clinic, we're celebrating 29 years of successful broadcasting right here from the center of the automotive universe. Bobby Likis Car Clinic is brought to you in part this morning by Optima Batteries. Optima Batteries are up to, get this, 15 times more vibration resistant than traditional flooded batteries. Optima Batteries, the ultimate power source. You can learn more at optimabatteries.com. And that's a Clarios company. Clarios. Let me tell you a little bit about Clarios. This is really interesting. 16,000 team members. 1 in 3 cars in the world is powered by a Clarios battery. 1 in 3 in the world. 99% of the materials in all of the Clarios batteries can be recovered, recycled, and remade. And in addition, 8,000 batteries per hour every day are recycled globally. That's really something. 8,000 batteries per hour, per day. That's amazing. That's amazing. Of course, batteries are the most recycled product made because when the battery wears out and the plates wear out, there's lead there. And, oh, by the way, I think that Ford Motor Company was one of the first manufacturers that actually came up with a use for the battery cases. I know they did for the old highway asphalt, and they melted those and put them through a process, and they created fender wells. So the plastic fender wells that you see under your expensive automobile are probably made from recycled materials. That's pretty cool. It really, really is. Oh, and by the way, those crumple zones, those, if you'll open your hood, look under your hood, you'll see there are little dents that are arbitrarily just placed in the fenders of your car under the hood, and those aren't arbitrary dents. They are crumple zones in case of an oncoming. Okay, another hour coming up. one more hour of the first of the final 4 Bobby Likis Car Clinic. After the top of the hour break, I'm Bobby Likis, your host. Likis, you'll love us.
This is Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Bobby Likis Car Clinic is a copyrighted presentation of Car Clinic Productions Incorporated and may not be reproduced or rebroadcast without the express written approval of Car Clinic Productions Incorporated.
Folks, your brakes are a critical part of vehicle safety, so it's important to use quality parts. Goodyear Brakes is licensed by Goodyear, one of the world's most trusted automotive brands. They feature a new line of premium quality brake bundles, including calipers, rotors, brake pads, and all the hardware for today's most popular vehicles. GoodyearBrakes.com is the place to go for everything, providing an easy-to-use system for ordering the parts needed, all based on your vehicle's VIN and license plate and your driving needs. GoodyearBrakes.com also offers expert advice and how-to videos for DIYers doing their own work. So whether you're an accomplished mechanic or do-it-yourselfer, you can tackle your brake replacement with confidence. The Goodyear Brakes product line was developed through decades of friction science experience, advanced engineering, and thorough laboratory and on-road testing. Their brake pads feature patented Vulcan braid shims technology designed to eliminate noise during operation. And Goodyear brake rotors and calipers both receive proprietary Anti-Ox Max coating for maximum rust and corrosion protection. Learn more at GoodyearBrakes.com.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
If you're familiar with the cultivated section of the newspaper, you probably understand this message quite well. You see, in the cultivated section, everything gets abbreviated. Consonants, vowels, prepositional phrases, the very building blocks of our language are thrown right out the window. And that makes it difficult when you're trying to sell your car. You've got a limited amount of space to work with, and by the time you abbreviate the description of your car down to a couple of fragmented sentences, it sounds less like a car and more like a Bluck sedan with sniffed like new condition lemals. No wonder more people are selling their cars through eBay Motors. They can post unlimited text and photo descriptions, and with a nationwide marketplace, they're likely to sell it for more. Plus, both parties can be covered by eBay's Vehicle Protection Program. Buyers are happy, sellers are happy, and no one's abbreviating. eBay Motors, a better way to sell your car.
Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Countdown to 3-minute mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Countdown to 1-minute mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Countdown to 30-second mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Countdown to 10-second mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. If you have a car question for Bobby, call now at 1-800-264-5454, toll free from anywhere in America. And now, here's your host, Bobby Likis.
And thank you, Marty White. Good morning, folks. Welcome to number 1 of the final 4 broadcasts of Bobby Likis Car Clinic. That's right. I'm retiring. The last program will air October the 10th, 10/10/2020. How about that? That's pretty cool. Well, after 29 years, perhaps this time, we had a first hour. We did have some glitches because of Hurricane Sally. I'll tell you, it's been a really difficult week here. Cold showers are no fun, I can tell you that, and no power. And I still have no power. Haven't had power in the house since Tuesday. But this too shall pass, just like COVID and everything else. You know, it's just that you take the bad times and you make them as good as you can, and you roll with it. So the good news is that you and I are together. We have this hour. I can answer your car questions, and I'd love to hear from you. 888 Car Clinic. That's 888-227-2546. Millie is in the house. She's not MIA today. She's in the house, and she'll take your call. And John and Jonathan are also in the control booth that are operating the program. And so I want to welcome every one of you to today's broadcast and invite you to participate coming up after the break, 888-227-2546. I'm proud to be Bobby Likis, proud to be your host. Likis, you'll love us when I come back. Today's vehicles face challenging conditions with more than 150 accessories for safety and comfort, such as backup cameras and entertainment systems. They're like second homes. Clarius is the world's largest producer of automotive AGM batteries that are precision engineered to be reliable, durable, and safely meet these challenging needs. AGM batteries have up to 2 times the life of traditional batteries and are non-spillable. The next time you need a battery, ask for an AGM battery to meet today's driving and electrical demands. Visit autobatteries.com. That's autobatteries.com.
O'Reilly. When you need auto parts, O'ReillyAuto.com is just a few clicks away. We offer convenient options for you to get your parts quickly. Order online and pick up for free at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store. We'll even bring it out curbside. Or you can have your parts delivered right to your door with free shipping on most orders over $35. Visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You've heard me talk about Motorrad's leading the way with automotive thermostats, fuel, oil, and coolant caps. Now, Motorrad's using their expertise and Tier 1 OEM facilities to deliver advanced engine management solutions. Products like camshaft and crankshaft sensors, ignition coils, mass airflow sensors, even variable valve timing solenoids. And Motorrad's aftermarket products are designed and manufactured to meet or exceed original equipment specifications. Learn more about Motorrad products and industry-leading application coverage at Motorrad.com.
Did you just look down at your phone? You did it again, didn't you? You know, you're flying down the road in a 3-ton hunk of steel, and a text takes your eyes off the road for an average of 5 seconds. At 55 miles per hour, that's long enough to travel the length of a football field and cause some serious damage. Turn it off. Trust me, whatever it is, you'll live.
Learn more at StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Another lending success story from LendingTree.com.
Car dealers like playing games. They play percentage points, they play markups, but I don't like playing with my money. So I got my auto loan through LendingTree.com. I filled out one simple form, a marketplace of banks and lenders competed over it, and I got 4 offers back within hours. After all, the car buying game is a lot easier to win when you're holding all the cards.
LendingTree.com. When banks compete, you win. For additional information and state license disclosures, please visit our website located at LendingTree.com.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
Okay, folks, let's get started with this hour of Bobby Likis Car Clinic. This is hour 2 of the Final 4 broadcast. This is number 1 of the Final 4. The final broadcast for Bobby Likis Car Clinic will be 10/10/2020. Today is the 19th of October, actually, and I want to wish Kermit Womack, KURM 790 AM in Rogers, Arkansas, a happy 86th birthday. More power to you, sir. I really appreciate all that you brought to the broadcast world. Let's go to Renee. Looks like Renee's.
It's Remy, Bobby.
Rennie.
Remy, R-E-M-Y. Yeah, I haven't talked to you in a dog's age.
Well,
how you been?
Terrific. I'm retiring 10/10/2020, but I'm here for this broadcast and 3 more. So what's going on with you, Rennie?
Okay, well, I'm just glad that the person answering the phone said you guys were all right there. I got a cousin in Pensacola, and I'm about 150 miles east of you in a little place called Carabel. I don't know if you've ever been there or not.
I have not.
Bobby, what the problem? Come see us. We got a beautiful beach here. Bobby, what I've got is I bought a 2012 Prius 5, the wagon, a couple of years ago, and the battery went out, the internal battery that sits back in the trunk area.
Right.
So I ordered another one, and when I put it in, I didn't realize that the grounding strap was connected, so there was a little bit of an arc, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I got in the vehicle, everything seemed to work all right, except when I got on the road, and I noticed that the indicator that shows my miles per gallon, if you're going up a hill, it decreases. If you're going down, it increases. That started going sporadic. I mean, it would just, while you're driving, it could be going from 19 miles per gallon, then it could jump up to 98, then it could go back to 45. It's just all over the place. So I brought it to Toyota, and they called me and they said, Remy, your vehicle's ready, come get it. I went and got the vehicle, and it was doing the same thing. And they didn't charge me. They said, well, there's nothing wrong with it. So I actually went back again and took the service writer out, the manager, and he said, well, my wife's got a brand new Ford, and it does the same thing. And I said, sir, this is not correct. It shouldn't be jumping from 19 to 48 to 100, whatever. I said, that's not the way it should be doing it. It should be gauged according to the miles per gallon I'm correctly getting.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what the problem is.
So let me ask this question, and I'll be specific. There are two readouts on MPG. One is an average readout. Then you click the button again, and I'm not sure how the Prius works, but for most cars, and then you hit the button again, and it goes to instantaneous readout. So you can see the instantaneous readout, or you can see the average readout. In the Prius, and then if you click further, you can see the odometer or the tripometer that tells you how many miles you've driven since you reset it. How many different modes are on the Prius?
The Prius has, Bobby, it's got a computer screen in the console, and actually what you can go into is check each trip. So you can start a trip, doesn't matter if it's around town or on the road, and it'll tell you what your average of the miles per gallon is, and this, that, and the other thing. It shows you a graph, a bar chart.
Okay, have you?
But as far as what you're reading while you're driving,
right,
it's just that indicator in the dash.
Okay. Here's something that, and certainly that spark that you saw could well have caused a problem with the body control module. So what I would recommend, two things I would recommend. Number one, first I have to applaud you for taking the gentleman for a ride, because many, many times people take their cars in the shop and say, here's the keys, it's doing this, fix it. And by the time the technician gets the car, the technician doesn't really get the straight scoop, because the straight scoop was never delivered, voice to voice, because car owners don't know what's wrong with the car. They only know what it's doing, and by the time that information is handed down to the person you talk with at the desk and then to the mechanic, it's unless it's a flat tire or a leaking water pump, sometimes it's ambiguous at best. But here's the bottom line. And so number one, what I think you should do, I think you should disconnect the battery, the car's battery.
The internal battery, the one I put in, or the one that starts the car under
one,
the hood?
I think it should be the one that starts the car.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the one that's going to be in the body control module. And I'll tell you, it wouldn't hurt. It would not hurt to disconnect that battery, and to disconnect the ground on the main feed battery as well. I mean, you're qualified to do that now that you put the battery in, right?
Well, I put the battery in the one in the back, the 12-volt battery that powers inside, but not this big giant battery that drives the car.
I'm sorry. I thought you put the giant battery in.
No, that battery's fine, thank God.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
no problem.
Yeah.
It's the one it's a 12-volt internal
Okay.
battery, and then I understand there's another one that starts the car.
Well, it probably uses the generator to start the car. It probably doesn't have a start battery in it. But here's the bottom line. The body control module controls those features, and it controls the radio. It controls many things. I don't even begin to know how many features it controls. So what I would have is I would ask the dealer to check the body control module. Now, having said that, and I want you to listen very closely. Let's say you're driving 65 miles per hour, and you're on the throttle, and you're getting 48 miles per gallon. If you back all the way off the throttle, you immediately still going 65 miles an hour. You're coasting, but now the wheels are driving the engine because you're not stepping on the accelerator. So in essence, the car is getting free miles with infinite MPG. It's called 99 miles per gallon because that's as high as the per gallon instantaneous will read. The reason that works that way is because when you on any electronic fuel injection car, folks, and so even if you don't have a Prius, this works for you too. If you're driving the engine more than 1,500 RPM, which is certainly at 70 miles an hour, is more than 1,500 RPM, by the rear wheels, which means that you're going 65 miles an hour, you let off the accelerator, there is a fuel cut switch in the throttle position sensor. And that fuel cut switch tells the computer, hey, I'm coasting. I don't need any fuel at all. So every time, even in the city, every time that you let off the accelerator altogether as you're getting off the interstate or you're letting off to go to a traffic light and you're going fast enough that the rear wheels push the engine above 1,500 RPM, the fuel is cut. It's called a fuel cut. And that's why you can hyper mileage and Carl Edwards from NASCAR took a Ford Fusion when they first came out and that got 41 miles per gallon and got 80 miles per gallon by hyper miling because he understood how that worked. Now, he was only going 25 miles an hour, so you can't truly drive that way. But the point is, what I would check on your car is the body control module and have it reboot it. And you know what? It wouldn't hurt for you to disconnect your battery that you know how to disconnect and count 30 seconds and reconnect it because the body control module, once it sees no voltage, will go blank anyway. And then when you hook your battery back up, it will re-energize. And so,
well, Bobby, it seems like if you hook that battery up and it arcs and you've got it grounded, something's drawing current. That's why it's arcing.
Well,
that
is you're right there. There's no question about it. And so I don't know what keep alive memory. I don't know what process or what component was still drawing voltage. It's hard to say.
That could have been affected.
It could have been affected, but here's the bottom line: the dealer should know all about this. So what I recommend that you do is to disconnect the battery again. Just make sure everything is off. Make sure the doors are closed. And by the way, you want to give the car time to time out. You know how you close the doors and the interior light stays on?
Yeah.
Well, you want to give the computer at least about 5 minutes so everything times out. Because cars are designed today so that if you leave the interior lights on or the door open or the radio on but the key is off or the push starter is off, then the battery will save. There's a battery saver and it will time out. So that is possible that when you hooked your battery back up, that had not happened yet. It hadn't timed out. And as a result, so anyway, I would disconnect the battery again, Renee. You're not going to.
Well, Bobby, let me ask you this.
Okay.
It doesn't sound like you fooled with a lot of Priuses, but I know you got a great shop there. It's about 130-something miles from me to you. If I can't get it rectified here, I'm just going to bring it over to you guys. I got a cousin that lives in Pensacola. I'll come visit him, and you can have it for a few hours.
Well, that shop is currently owned now by Alexander Abdullah. So I did sell that shop, but I still have the same crew that was there when I was there. So you can call and talk with Rusty and talk with him with regard to repairing that. But I tell you, being the Prius, I would stick with the dealer if I were you, period. Anyway, thanks for your call, folks. Got a hard break. And then your call's next at 888 Car Clinic. Electrical demands in today's vehicles include things like start-stop technology and backup cameras. Fantastic features, but they can put a strain on your battery. AGM or absorbent glass mat batteries are up to the challenge. Precision engineered to offer the ultimate combination of power, durability, and reliability. What affects battery performance? Harsh climates, frequent stopping, and aggressive driving all affect battery performance. With its compressed cell design and glass mat separators, AGM batteries are built to excel in these types of conditions. Learn more AGM advantages from Clarios at autobatteries.com. That's autobatteries.com. Cooling system repairs. We've all needed them. But what happens when the local mechanic of your garage is miles away? Situations like this were made for K-Seal, a pour-in solution that helps stop cooling system leaks. Older sealers use sodium silicate, which can clog the system. K-Seal features ceramic technology designed to repair the leak without clogging. Tough times create the need to be prepared. Make K-Seal part of your emergency road kit. K-Seal is available nationwide at stores like Walmart. Check walmart.com for store hours and shipping options, or go to kseal.com. With 48 years experience in automotive repair, our service team knows what dirty gasoline does inside an engine. Over time and miles, fuel residue and hot oil vapors create nasty, hardened clusters of carbon that block airflow into cylinders, collect on valves, and build up inside combustion chambers, causing hard starting, rough idle, sluggish engine performance, and bad gas mileage. Solution? Berryman B60 High Mileage Fuel System Rejuvenator. B60 cleans the entire fuel system of all high-mileage gas-powered vehicles with powerful detergents and HEST solvents. That's high-energy solvent technology at work. B60 gives you one-tank cleanup of fuel injectors, intake valves, and combustion chambers. Restore lost power, reduce rough idle, improve fuel economy, and enjoy your drive again. Berryman B60 High-Mileage Fuel System Rejuvenator is the only fuel system cleaner with HEST solvents. Pick up a can at your local auto parts store today. For more, visit BerrymanProducts.com. That's BerrymanProducts.com.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Telephone
From Geico Auto Insurance.
When calling Geico to switch your car insurance, you will not need acetaminophen, naproxen, indomethacin, ibuprofen, a cold compress, an on-call acupuncturist, or any other pain remedy. In 15 minutes, you could save 15% or more. If it were any more painless, you could do it in your sleep, which is theoretically possible since we offer complete 24-hour service. Call 1-800-947-AUTO, 1-800-947-AUTO. Geico Direct, the sensible alternative.
When you purchase the latest TV, tablet, or smartphone, don't forget to do the right thing with your old ones. Recycle them. The Consumer Technology Association and its members are making recycling your old devices as easy as buying new ones. Just go to greenergadgets.org, type in your zip code, and you'll instantly find the recycling location closest to your home. You'll also find recycling tips, like asking the store where you buy your new TV if they'll haul away your old one. Don't let your old tech tools clog your local landfill. Just visit greenergadgets.org.
And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
And welcome back to this segment of Bobby Likis Car Clinic. I hope that you had a great week. It's been a little difficult here in Pensacola, Florida, the center of the automotive universe, given we had Sally that came through and actually was totally unanticipated. And, you know, and totally is a pretty strong word, but we've seen our share of hurricanes. And, I mean, we all went to bed that night, and in the middle of the night, here comes this hurricane. And sure enough, it came through, and it was pretty devastating. But in the big scheme of things, this too shall pass, just like COVID. This too shall pass. And perhaps when I get off the broadcast today, I'll have power at my home. That would be fun. In the meantime, let's go to Kansas, take a call from Raleigh. Raleigh, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Well, thank you. I hope you have good luck with
thank you.
Recovering from the hurricane.
Yeah, so do I.
And I hate to see you leave the air.
Well, thank you, sir.
I have fallen in love with the appearance of a Chrysler Crossfire, and I was wondering what you thought of them.
Funny you should ask. Ironic you should ask. I love that car. In fact, when I was looking for a second car years ago, when in 07 and, you know, in that era, in fact, 07 was the one that had the wing on the back and had the supercharged, you know, that's when Chrysler and Mercedes-Benz were partnered. And so 60% of that car is Mercedes-Benz and 40% is Chrysler, or the other way around. Now, I didn't buy the car because the interior was just a little too Spartan and a little too small. But the look of the car, I think is beautiful. Now, I want to fast forward to, of all the cars that we do not work on, when I owned Bobby Likis Car Clinic Service, the Crossfire was one that we did not. And the reason was that we had one of those cars that came into our shop, and we serviced it, and something happened during the service. And it shorted out. Actually, we were doing transmission service, and somehow or other the wires inside the transmission for the solenoid got shorted out. And that car ended up staying in my shop for way too long. And of course, I stepped up and I replaced component after component that were related to that, and some things that even weren't related, because it was a good customer and because I felt it was the right thing to do. Having said that, because we could get no support from a Chrysler dealer, because we could get less than no support from a Mercedes dealer, because the Chrysler dealers nor the Mercedes dealers will work on the Crossfire, I outlawed all Crossfires from my service shop, then owned service shop. And so my opinion to you is they are darn good looking cars. They really run well. But unless you find a shop that is familiar with Mercedes-Benz and Chrysler hybrid, which is what that is. I don't mean that it's electric and gas, but it's a hybrid because it's a 60-40. I would not buy the car.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you telling me that. And I've called you before on a 2013 Tundra that had the same problem with the transmission. And we were at wit's end, and you were spot on. You said to have patience, and we had patience. And now my wife has over 200,000 miles on it, and it runs like a charm.
Wow, that's amazing. So Raleigh, let me ask you a question. And I did like the Crossfire look, still do. But what would be your next choice? Because I'm curious, because you and I were on the same line there. But now
I don't. The thing that surprised me about the Crossfires is they are so cheap. You can buy one with 70,000 miles for like $7,000, and no other car with that appearance you can touch for that.
Well, let me say that I agree with you. However, I won't give you the final number, but I will tell you I personally spent more than $7,000 of my company money repairing a car that came in for a transmission service.
Well, you
that's
see
how
them
much
online, and
that is,
and they have like 100,000, 150,000 miles on them.
I'm sure there are good ones out there, and I'm sure. But the bottom line is, you can't buy a car that you can't get serviced.
Well, I appreciate your honesty.
Well,
we just seen one, and they just are cuter than a button.
Yeah, they are. Well, let me tell you another good car to buy. And I wouldn't say this if I didn't have one. A late model Jaguar, the XJ, and that's a different car, I know, it's a bigger car. XJL, which is mine, that I bought new. I've had very few problems with that car, but nothing that normal cars haven't had. And I think that you can get a used one of XJL with less than 40,000 miles on it for maybe $25,000. That car cost $100,000, and they have not held their residual value, but they are great luxury cars if you're looking for a luxury car, and there are hundreds of them for sale. Okay. And I'll tell you something else. Another car that all repairs aside, the best used car you could probably buy is an RX Lexus SUV. You can buy a late model.
Okay.
Those cars, I recommend those cars. I never owned a Toyota, but Toyota makes the best cars in the world, period. The best cars in the world, and that's saying a lot. And so whenever I am asked, and my daughter asked me recently, a dear friend asked me just this week what she should buy, and she was thinking of a let's see what she was thinking of. I forget what it was now, but it was a Nissan, and it had a CVT transmission, which is not my cup of tea. So I recommended a Lexus to her, and so I would do it. And just so happened that yesterday, a dear friend of mine in Canton, Georgia, which is outside of Atlanta, is going to replace his Genesis with a new Subaru Outback. And I looked at that car, and I went online because the friend of mine that was going to buy another used car, I said, well, gosh, maybe she should think about this. And so I went online, and I built one yesterday, and it came out to like $36,000 after all the stuff I added. And it was a Subaru Outback, which is a midsize, and I can tell you, you're talking about a quality car. Those are quality cars. So the Subaru Outback's a quality car. The RX Lexus is a quality car. Lexus products, period. And then the rest of them kind of follow suit. Thanks for your call, Raleigh, and good luck. Glad you called me.
Thank you very much.
Yep, you're welcome.
And you bet. Bye-bye.
Bye. 888-227-2546, folks. Welcome to the Final Four. The first of 4 remaining broadcasts of Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Let's go to Daytona Beach. WNDB 1150 AM was an inaugural station for Bobby Likis. And with us is Terry Saveston from Daytona Beach. Terry, welcome back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Well, thanks, Bobby. I just can't believe that this 29-year run's coming to an end, and we're really confused because I don't know what I'm going to do. I normally listen to the 10 o'clock hour, and then I jump out and cut grass for a few and come back in and listen to the last 35, 40 minutes, and I don't know how I'm going to cut grass anymore.
Well, I really appreciate that, Terry. And you know what's really been the most fun for me? You may or may not be familiar with this name, but the folks in Ormond Beach and Daytona, Frank Zelgatti. It could be Zelgato, but it's Frank, and I think his wife was named Mary. Frank is probably passed. He owned Le Crepinot. Are you familiar with that restaurant?
Yes.
Well, he owned that restaurant,
absolutely.
And he called me, and we made close friends. And so I came to Daytona, as you know, many, many times. And also another great guy was Preston Root, and of course he's an icon. His grandfather, invented the Coca-Cola bottle. In Terre Haute, Indiana, by the way, is where that's where the bottle was. And I'll tell you a little something, Terry, is interesting about Preston. When he was growing up, when he was 12 years old, his dad never flew. I guess he didn't like to fly or was afraid of it or something. And so he had a train made. And folks, this is interesting. There were 6 of these trains made, and the Root family would travel across the nation by a train, and they would go to one yard, and then they would be offloaded and then wait in that yard until another train was going to another place or whatever. I don't know how they worked that, but it was very interesting. And they didn't have a locomotive, but they had a train that had all the living in it and what have you. So I came down and Preston joined me many times on WNDB, like Mark Bernier and I've interviewed many times on WNDB. And I can't count the times you have called in with updates from the Daytona International Speedway. Folks, this is the motorsports director for WNDB 1150 AM, and that was one of 4 stations that we started on. WJNT in Jackson, Mississippi, and WAPI in Birmingham, Alabama, and WCOA in Pensacola, Florida were our first 4, and then we got picked up and syndicated and went on to grow to more than 175 stations.
Well, Bobby, those train cars are actually here in our Museum of Arts and Science in the Root wing, and it's a whole wing of the Root family's collections, everything from Coca-Cola memorabilia to their personal vehicles to race cars to, I think there's 2 of the train cars there. And it is just an amazing wing of the Museum of Arts and Science. I think there's a teddy bear collection in there also. It's just a part of the Root family's history here. I believe his dad was a politician. I don't want to say congressman, Chapman Root, but part of our community in the Root family. And Preston, he was my predecessor. He was the motorsports director before I was. Mark Williams and then me. but Root Preston's just an amazing icon in our community, and I don't know if I'm supposed to tell you this, but I heard that he's selling his house, so you might want to take a look at that. That's a pretty amazing place he has up in the woods that the Root family's had for years.
Well,
So,
I appreciate that. I'll tell you this. We've got a break coming up, but I'll have to share this. So I've been to the museum and been a guest of Preston's many times. In this museum, there's a Coca-Cola room and a picture of his folks in their wedding and their drawers. And in these drawers, they have menus from restaurants throughout the world. And his I guess it was his father used to go to restaurants and he would always steal the menu. And so his handlers, his friends, his family would pay for the menu of the restaurant, or the restaurant probably gave it to him. And so there are drawers and drawers of menus worldwide in the Preston Museum right there in Daytona Beach. I got a hard break. Got to go, Terry. Thank you. Love you. This Pro project is brought to you by Blaster and their new Pro Straw, featuring control flow technology. Folks, wheel alignment's an important part of vehicle maintenance. Proper alignment provides better handling and also extends tire life. But in some areas of the country, roads suffer from harsh winter climate, and salt damage is tough on steering linkages and suspension components, causing rust. Rust never sleeps, and it becomes evident when you try to make adjustments to tie rods or even caster and camber components. But there's a solution: PB Blaster Penetrant and its new Pro Straw, featuring control flow technology. When aligning the front end, be sure to apply Blaster using the convenient Pro Straw to tie rod adjusters and any fasteners that allow alignment changes. Blaster will make them easier to loosen and move. And using Blaster's new Pro Straw provides the ability to apply penetrant only where needed, ultimately making the job cleaner and more efficient. PB Blaster is available at home, auto, or hardware stores near you. Work it like a pro with Blaster products. For more information, go to blastercorp.com.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
More than 1 million wild animals are killed each year illegally. Poaching is a major threat to our country's wildlife. I'm Tom Barry. I'm an actor with a desire to preserve living space for wildlife. The Humane Society Wildlife Land Trust does just that. Works with private landowners to protect wildlife, to preserve natural habitats. To learn more or to work with the Humane Society Wildlife Land Trust, call 800-729-SAVE. That's 800-729-SAVE, or visit wildlifelandtrust.org. Thank you.
Did you know 26 million Americans have kidney disease and most don't know it?
The day I was diagnosed, I didn't know what to do. I called the National Kidney Foundation, and the young lady who answered stayed on the phone with me and walked me through step by step. She too was surviving kidney disease, and she showed me there could be life after kidney disease.
Visit the National Kidney Foundation at kidney.org. Now you know.
We're a land of cynics. We don't believe anything anymore. You know why? Because we've been told we've won $1 million, that it's new and improved, that it slices and dices, that our favorite singer is still alive, that we'll be prosecuted if we cut off the tags, and of course that everything is backed with a 100% money-back guarantee. So when we hear the words customer service, we don't believe it. Travelocity isn't surprised if you're a little skeptical when they say they have excellent customer service, and that there's actually a pleasant face behind this website, a living, breathing person with a supercharged computer full of answers. Someone who's willing to help when you get lost, and most of all, someone that will actually pick up the phone when you call with a question or a concern. Customer service is just another example of how Travelocity puts you in control of travel. Chances are you'll never have to use it, but it's good to know it'll be there if you need it. Travelocity.com. Go virtually anywhere.
And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
And welcome back to this segment of Bobby Likis Car Clinic, the first broadcast of the Final Four. So, folks, that means that I'm retiring. October the 10th, 2020 will be our final show. In the meantime, Millie will take your calls at 888 Car Clinic. That's 888-227-2546. I got a terrific note from the Colonel, Kermit Womack, who is 85 years young today, and today is September the 19th, 2020. and he announced and read my retirement letter on the air there in Rogers, Arkansas, and what a great area that's been. A long story about a short story, but a long story as well. A couple of stories for you. In the meantime, let me hear from you. Millie will take your call at 888 Car Clinic, 888-227-2546. But I want to share a couple things with you. Years ago, there was a product called XR1, and Buck Parker, and for all you folks in Daytona and Ormond Beach, you know Buck. Everybody knows Buck. And Buck Parker's company, and Buck called me. He said, I want to sponsor your program because, I like what you say and what have you. And I said, well, I don't know who you are, and I don't know what's your product. Well, it seems that the X1R product was a free, so it was biodegradable lubricant. And the space shuttle, and folks, the space shuttle is carried out by the crawler to its launch pad on Canaveral. Well, Cape Canaveral is a sanctuary. I mean, it's for what do you call it? Anyway, the bottom line is they wanted a lubricant for the tracks of the space crawler, and the tracks are made of hinges. They didn't have any bearings. In fact, folks, the first crawler broke all the bearings, so they had to do away with bearings because the bearings were too hard and they wouldn't deflect and they wouldn't distort, and they broke. So when they came out with a second makeup of the space crawler, which is the device that carries the space shuttle out to the launch pad, they made regular tracks that were like 2,000 pounds apiece, and I don't know how wide apart, maybe a dozen feet wide. And the way they lubricated the tracks were like piano hinge pins, like a regular piano hinge pin, except giant, all right? They took a 55-gallon drum of oil, and just like the old plunger, the crapper it's called, that's how where the commode came from, a crapper, because you used to have the plunger and they pull the plunger. They would pull the plunger and they would spray lubricant onto the track, the hinge pins. That's the only way they could lube them. Well, they had to have a biodegradable because the NASA was going to be shut down by OSHA and by the EPA. So along comes Buck Parker and X1R, and he bids for that job, and they said, well, you don't understand, we've got to have a lubricant that's biodegradable. He said, I got it, and he did. And so he was recognized by NASA. And that same chemical, it was so slick and so slippery and friction, removed friction, that he made it for engines. And I tried it, and it worked. In fact, we used to pour it about 4 ounces into a Nissan or other power steering Fords that had power steering moan, and it would cure that moan because of its thickness. Now, having said all that, Buck wanted to put that product into Walmart. And so Walmart says, well, we don't know who you are, and Walmart's hard to deal with. But the bottom line is he goes there to KURM 790 AM, and he says, I'd like for you to air Bobby Likis Car Clinic on your station. And the colonel agreed to, and here I was sending people to Walmart to buy this X1R product when Walmart only had maybe 2 stores out of 2,600 at the time that had the product. Finally, Walmart called Buck and said, listen, cease and desist. We're getting complaints because people are asking for your product and we don't have it. So, and I can imagine Buck Parker, he said, yeah, well, why don't you have it? And as a result, Bobby Likis Car Clinic, Bobby Likis, and it was a point of sale with a little box there with X1R that was in all Walmarts across the country. And that's the story. And now Buck even makes a product called Daytona 1. I don't know how he got away with that name. I'm sure that nobody had it or he couldn't have, trademarked it. But Daytona 1 is a product that has similar products and waxes and what have you. So that's one of the stories that I want to share because it was a long-time partnership with Buck Parker, and then he took a partner, and the partner went back into the commercial, because that's where they really started their lot of lubricant companies, X1R, Royal Purple. They weren't in the automotive industry; they were commercial. Just like Royal Purple started their first the recognition because they solved a vibration in the bullet train in Japan. Because at 125 miles an hour, the bullet train would vibrate, and nobody could figure it out. And Royal Purple did. Williams, who retired, came back out of retirement and created a lubricant, and they found that what was happening, the lubricant was slinging away from the bearings at 125 miles an hour, and like a centrifuge. And he solved that problem. And their guys there at Royal Purple sitting around and said, "Man, this stuff is really good. It's like Royal. Yeah, let's do it for cars." And they started that. And when we partnered with Royal Purple, they had 500 distributors. When we ended the partnership, when Royal Purple was bought out by Calumet for $331 million, I didn't get any of that, by the way. When Calumet bought that product out, we dissolved our partnership with Royal Purple. But Royal Purple, when they sold out, had 23,000 vendors and became known. And most of that was because of their marketing department, who was headed up by Mark McFan, one of the most brilliant marketing individuals. And if you remember, Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, he had a product placement. And he actually, when Angelina Jolie jumped from one truck on the top of another truck on an interstate, if you remember that movie, she jumped on top of a truck, and on the side of the truck it had Royal Purple. So just like when you see a cop show now or FBI, you look at all those black SUVs, you think General Motors doesn't pay for product placement? Sure they do. So anyway, it's really interesting. Too much talk. Let's go to Richard. Take a call from Richard. Richard, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Thanks for holding.
Yes, well, thank you. My friend has a 2010 Marquis, and the tires are like 5 or 6 years old.
Right.
One of them started bumping, and really pulled to the right. So I figure I might need tires. And you had mentioned Cooper one time, and I've always bought Michelin's. You got a recommendation, sir?
I do recommend Goodyear. I just tried another set of tires on my car, and I did not have the luck. Actually, the car came with Dunlops, but they flat spotted, but they were quiet. So when I bought a set of tires, I stayed with them because I said I'll put up with a flat spot because that's temporary. And then finally, I said, no, I'm going to try something different. So I tried another brand of tire, and after 4 replacements for the tire that I tried, which I will not mention, I finally went with Goodyear, and that solved the problem. So for me, my money seriously is on Goodyear.
They have zillions of Goodyears. Which one are we
Well, what
talking
I would,
about?
Richard, what I recommend for you to do is to go to GoodyearTires.com, or I'll tell you, the best way to find the right tire is the local Goodyear representative, and look at the original equipment on your vehicle, and you'll get the same size, and talk with that person who is in the store every day and knows.
Yeah, it had Cooper. It had Michelin on it before. So
Yeah,
then
right.
You tried Uniroyals, and was not happy.
No, I'm with you, but here's what I recommend. I recommend you go to a Goodyear tire store locally and find a time when they're not really busy and talk to the individual and give them this conversation and ask them what is the best tire. And they're going to ask you, well, what is your purpose for the car? You got all season, you got winter, you got summer only, and you got high performance. Don't buy a high performance. Do not buy a high performance tire. It will not last. They're too soft, and they're when I say soft,
we don't drive very much.
Exactly. So you just want a regular unipurpose tire. It's called all-purpose. All season it's called, and so go to Goodyear, and then go to your dealer and talk face to face with the person, and then when you buy the tire from that person, if there's a problem, guess what? You know somebody you can go back to because you just spent your money with them. That makes sense?
That makes sense, sir.
Okay.
Okay, I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Richard. Thanks for calling. Let's go to Victor in Washington. Well, Victor, good morning. Welcome to the Final Four, the first of the Final Four broadcast in Bobby Likis Car Clinic. How you doing, my friend?
Pretty good. Well, that's kind of a sad news. I'm kind of counting on hearing you every Saturday here.
I understand. I got you, but we've got until 10/10/2020. So what's on your mind today?
Well, in the old diesel engines I used to run and still got one that had a compression release, and you talked about getting the oil splashed up on the rings, and if you just go reverse trying to start your engine or something, you wear your rings out. But if you have a compression release and turns it so fast, I think it splashes the oil up right away. So you'd save that wear on the rings. But you have an extra mechanism in there. What do you think about that?
Well, I don't think that you're going to get any splash unless the engine is turning 800 to 1,000 RPM. I don't think at 300. I don't think at 300. Well, let me answer the question. I don't think at 300 RPM, which is a cranking speed, that you're going to get any oil through the. Number one, the oil has to be pumped, and then pressure through the rod bearings, and then through the side clearance in the rod bearings is how the cylinders are lubricated. And the engine has to be running in order to create the storm inside that splashes oil onto the cylinder. So I believe that any engine that is cranked and cranked and cranked and does not start long enough that the oil rings and or the piston rings will fail. And to that end, you have to remember, while the engine is cranking, if it's a no ignition reason that it won't start, fuel is going down. So it doesn't matter if you got oil, a little bit of oil splashed or not, there's more fuel coming from the top. None of it is burned. And so that washes the rings and washes the oil off the rings. And without the oil, the rings won't seal. And if the rings touch the wall without oil, then they're going to be damaged.
Oh, yeah. Well, now on the tack, when you spin them, as I recall, it gets up pretty high. I don't know if it gets just a little below 1,000 or something on those diesels.
No, that's incorrect, Victor. Number one, in the crank mode, tachometers don't work anyway. They only work in the run mode, and in the crank mode, they're not getting the same signal because the crank is different, and unless you had a mechanical tack. But even so, a starter motor turns the starter engine over 300 RPM.
Oh, yeah, well, that's slower. These old ones, they have mechanical tack, so it shows whenever you turn your motor, it shows it on it gets up pretty high, and I know they use them a lot on those old diesels, and and they last, so I thought that it would be splashing it up there.
Well, let me say this about that. Diesel fuel is oil anyway, so the same thing doesn't apply to a diesel that would apply to gasoline, because gasoline destroys oil. It dissolves oil and disperses it. Diesel fuel is oil. So that scenario doesn't fit the diesel. You see where I'm going? So it doesn't matter if it it doesn't matter if it cranked 1,000 RPM, and you and I know that if you have a bad glow plug, well, let me take that back. In my memory, in the mid-'70s, we had some 240 diesels, which were the biggest sleds in the world, the dogs. 240 diesel, they ran forever until the glow plug didn't work, and many times there was a 50-amp fuse on the firewall that fed voltage to the glow plugs, and the glow plugs wouldn't work, and I know of at least 10 times where a car was towed in, a diesel 240, that wouldn't start when we'd have a cold, very seldom cold, but 5 degree, 10 degree weather in the wintertime in Pensacola, Florida, and you couldn't get the diesel started because it wouldn't have any compression after we fixed it. And I'll tell you how we got it started. Because that Mercedes automatic transmission has a rear oil pump to augment the primary pump, which is on the crankshaft, and because you can't put it in gear in the crank, but if you tow a diesel of that kind or a Mercedes of that era and put it in low gear, it would go into low gear automatic transmission because the drive shaft is pumping the rear pump, which forces the clutches to work, and then you could push the car off like a standard transmission. That's how that worked. Got it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, gotta
that's
go,
it,
man.
yeah.
Out of time. Gotta go. Thank you, Victor. Always great to hear from you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Well, folks, just what a fast 2 hours this has been today. Early on, the first hour, we had some intermittent problems, but we're squared away now. Next week, please join me for show number 2 of the final 4, Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Yours truly will retire. Our last and final broadcast will be 10/10/2020, which is coming up in 3 weeks. Meanwhile, next Saturday, from 10 till noon, I'll come to your living room, your car, your garage, or wherever you are, and bring you information and answer your car questions. And I'd love to hear from you. I'm Bobby Likis, host of Bobby Likis Car Clinic for 29 years. Like us, you'll love us.
This is Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Bobby Likis Car Clinic is a copyrighted presentation of Car Clinic Productions Incorporated and may not be reproduced or rebroadcast without the express written approval of Car Clinic Productions Incorporated.
Insurance 101, courtesy of Grundy Insurance. Uninsured motorist liability and underinsured motorist liability are both important aspects of vehicle insurance, as they can protect you against an at-fault driver who is not insured or doesn't have enough insurance. Important to note, the definition of who's insured refers to people, not vehicles listed on a particular policy. So the uninsured or underinsured limits you select for your policy for your everyday cars will transfer over to you when driving your collector car. Find out more at Grundy.com. That's Grundy.com. Your vehicle a little sluggish, throwing off trouble codes? Take action with Berryman's B12 Chem Tool featuring HEST, or high-energy solvent technology. Using HEST with high-powered detergents, Berryman B12 Chem Tool provides a 1-2 punch to knock out carbon deposits. But don't take our word for it. According to Thomas, your products are so underrated. This stuff flat out works, and you can't beat the price. Thank you for making such a great product. Learn more about Berryman products and their HEST technology at BerrymanProducts.com. That's BerrymanProducts.com.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
PRC Outfitters, I'm Tina. How can I help you?
I'd like to place an order.
Great. Which item?
The cotton roll neck sweater, large.
Okay. Periwinkle loaded or caramel?
The caramel, please.
The what?
I'd like it in caramel.
Oh, the caramel?
Yeah, that's what I said, Tina.
Actually, you said caramel when it's pronounced caramel.
Can't we just call it yellow?
No.
Everyone knows the best part of a Milky Way. They just don't know how to say it. After all, it's our caramel.
It's caramel.
Ugh, that makes a Milky Way great.
You start my morning, you stir in my soul, you warm my heart, make me feel whole. Your aroma calls me, starts my morning. Happy morning, your name is Vulcanization Mountain Grown. Now you're here, your aroma helps me wake in the